Hello and welcome to Tara Smith's Kitchen. I am Tara Smith and I'm going to be making garlic soup, kind of my version of it, not exactly traditional. I add a few more ingredients to it. And I'm not going to be smashing garlic for once because I looked at my garlic cloves and I'm like, I don't want to use these. So I'm going to be using like the jar of minced garlic and we're going to see how that turns out. And I'm going to go ahead and heat this back up while I peel a carrot. I have a carrot here I'm going to add to it. If you do choose to put a carrot in here, it's going to change the color, but it does enhance the flavor a little bit. And it's just something I like to do. The only ingredients you really need for this is about 7 cloves of garlic, or maybe a tablespoon or so, if you got it in a can, something like that. About 6-7 cups of either bouillon, base, stock, broth, what have you, as long as it's chicken, it will work just fine. And it tends to turn out the best with chicken stock. Chicken stock tends to turn out the best. But if you don't have chicken stock, it's no big deal. You can do it with just powdered bouillon, whatever you need. And it will turn out just fine. So let me dice up this carrot over here. And I really need more cameras, a little better setup. I get a little more money. Maybe I can set that up. But right now it is what it is. And hopefully this is playing on Rumble because I have it set up on Rumble. And it looks like it is playing on Rumble. And it shows 6 people. Leave a comment if you want me to know that you're there. So let's get this started. I've got the Rumble thing brought up on my phone because it's not going to show on StreamYard, which is what I'm using. This is butter. And I'm running my mouth too long. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to pour that out. Sorry about that. It started burning. Let's start over. That's what happens when you're doing too many things at one time. So, let me see, we got Bjorn, Krabby Turtle, Liberty from Lead. Awesome, how are you doing? Probably had the heat up a little bit too high anyways. So, I'm gonna try this again. Butter and garlic, they will both burn on you real quick. Not that there's not a solution to that, just is what it is. And of course it's live, so if I screw up, and it's all nice and live for everyone to see. Alpha, I'm trying to melt you. And since I'm not using actual garlic cloves, I am using this, the Goya, what have you. There's like a Hispanic store near my house. They have a lot of good stuff there. And I'm using this for the garlic. And of course, I'm using Better Than Bouillon for the bouillon. And turn this down a little bit more. I don't want to burn that again. That is not what I'm wanting to do. I have a tablespoon of garlic, like that. We're just going to roast it in the butter here. I got 2 tablespoons. You can use less. You can use olive oil. You can use bacon grease as long as you get it roasted. That's kind of what counts here. Just a little bit roasted. And next, I have a small onion that I'm going to put in here. Just hold on 1 second, and I'll put that in here. Let me check Rumble. Do not see anyone on Rumble. Well, I see 5 people watching. No comments. So, if you're on Rumble, leave a comment. Let me know you're there. And I usually do not cook with this kind of garlic. But this is a small onion and 1 kind of medium-sized carrot. Those 2 are not traditional ingredients for the soup. But I tend to add them to it just because I like it. And all you really need, about 7 cloves of garlic, maybe a tablespoon, a little more. Kind of go by the nose there. And about 6-7 cups of some kind of broth, bouillon, what have you, as long as it's chicken, and about 6 or 7 red potatoes. And you should be fine. And I'm going to add a little bit more garlic. That's about a half tablespoon. I do prefer using fresh garlic. I looked at it and I'm like, no, it's not today. I didn't want to go to the store. I'm home. So we're just going to cook this down a little bit. If you do add carrots, it adds a little bit more sweetness to the flavor, but it will also change the color. I forgot to mention you're also going to need an egg. Which if she threw all the eggs out, I'm going to be mad. I think I saw eggs in there earlier. I should probably go over things a little more than I do, but I don't. So here we go. This is actually a very quick soup to make. I may go into making the other soup that I'm going to make, or stew that I'm going to make tonight. Just kind of go right into that. I'm not sure yet. We'll see where this leads. But don't turn your heat up too high. Garlic will burn very quickly. Stir it around good. And as your onion starts to kind of go translucent, which is what we're looking for. Sorry about all the clanking. Gotta move it around. Probably do less clanking if I used a plastic spatula, but I hate those. I only use them when I have to. When I'm using something that's like a non-stick pot, that sort of thing. And I would have at least a cup or 2 of whatever kind of stock or broth you're using ready to pour in here so that you don't burn, especially the garlic. But it is garlic soup. It's going to be very garlicky. Yeah, you gotta smell a lot of garlic. At least you better. It doesn't smell garlicky enough. Using my nose. Like I said, I usually don't use this kind of garlic. So I'm gonna add another half a tablespoon. Which means we're at 2 tablespoons. I'm using my nose to gauge this. Not recently, I haven't used any honey in my cooking, but I plan on making some bread and stuff like that coming up where I'm probably going to be using honey for the sweetener rather than sugar. I don't know how that works for diabetics. I'm pre-diabetic, I'm not diabetic yet, so I'm trying not to get there. But my wife is diabetic, and it's starting to, affect, how we cook, how we eat, that sort of thing. Ooh, duck egg noodle pasta. That sounds amazing, Vanessa Kitty. Make lasagna with it. Post some pictures. You're on my Discord, aren't you? I don't have a link to my Discord posted up there. If anyone wants to post a link to that, I don't know if I have any mods or anything in there at the moment. I'd have to pull up YouTube. And hopefully nothing is squealing or what have you, because I have Rumble pulled up on the other side, which seems to be lagging a little bit behind. Let me see. Pull YouTube up over here. Cool. Well, if anyone is a mod on my Discord and also on here, you are more than welcome to post a link to my Discord, or I might do it in a minute. I think that's cooked down enough. I'm not 100% sure. There we go. Now I'm going to turn the heat back up. And I'm going to get some more hot water. Try not to hit my camera. If you want to screw something up live, try to have it timed for when everything goes on live. It's a little different animal. It's 2 cups so far. I'm going to put 6 cups in here. And on the red potatoes, I generally go, you can use red potatoes, you can use gold. Russets are not a good idea. They're not really good for soups. But for about every cup of broth or stock, what have you, that I add to it, I'm generally putting in like 1 red potato, which would come out to 6 for this. Sometimes I'll add like 1 more, sort of gauge it by sight. But it's a very quick and very simple soup to make. And it is a cold remedy. It is supposedly a hangover remedy. They call it hangover soup. So if it's not perfectly blended in there, don't worry. It's fixing to get real hot, and it's all going to be dissolved where it needs to go. There we go. Like I said, it's about to get really hot, and everything will be all nice and dissolved. So while that's happening, I'm going to get my fried potatoes ready. The thing about buying things to cook is you have to cook with them or they will go bad. And then you just wasted money on food. And I generally do not peel red and green. Not green, or the yeah, red or gold potatoes. Why did I say green? I generally don't peel those. You can have the skin on. Of course, red is better for that. While this thing's heating up, I will get the potatoes ready. I thought about getting like those little soup potato sort of things and using those little tiny ones and just not cutting them up at all before, just to try it, see how it turns out. You just want kind of decent chunks. Something that'll fit on a spoon. The larger they are, the longer it'll take to cut. The smaller they are, obviously, the least time it's going to take for them to cook. Mashed potatoes are also good with red potatoes, leaving the peels on them. Of course, if you really want to get Irish with it, there's a reason that they would leave the potatoes on due to starvation. Let's see. Liberty from lead. I'm cutting sugar and those carbs and my A1C since I got the Vitas. Yeah, a lot of times it's not necessarily the sweets, but those carbs will get you. And I can do without the sweets, but the carbs, it's like someone's going to get murdered or something if I don't have carbs. I'm not a huge sweet eater. Every once in a while, I like my Bluebell ice cream, especially if when they're coming out with like vanilla bean, not homemade vanilla, but vanilla bean. If you're down in Texas, you know what I'm talking about. That one is amazing. The only like cookies or something that I can't resist is Oreos, and I don't buy them because if I buy them, I will eat them, and that's just how it is. That's potato. Amy just had her A1C checked and all that, and it was doing pretty good. She's starting to get used to it, but she's the kind of person that likes to eat a lot of fast food and that sort of thing, and I'm the person that likes to eat a lot of home-cooked stuff. And that's probably the only reason I'm not in the exact same shoes as she is right now. But it does run in both our families pretty heavily. I grew up poor, and going out to eat was something you did once or twice a year. And usually it wasn't, okay, got flying potatoes. Usually it wasn't like a fancy restaurant or something like that. It wasn't even a decent restaurant. It was like you went to Dairy Queen twice a year. Pizza Hut maybe once or twice a year, and that was it. So it was a treat. So I grew up, my mom canned a lot of vegetables, stuff like that. And we ate from the garden, usually put like a half a beef in the fridge every year. And we had chickens and all that kind of stuff. I wouldn't eat chicken for so long. Had to kill and clean too many of them. I was sick of them. Kind of burn out on them anyways. None of this has to be perfect, by the way. Yes, I know, you're supposed to have the knife blade going away from you and all that kind of stuff, but I don't think I've ever done that. I was breathing the nice, beautiful air in North Dakota, waking up to 57 degrees. I come down here, it's like 105, and it was just insane. Whatever's in the air, messing with my lungs, my nose, all that kind of stuff. No, it's pieces of bean. But vanilla bean is generally the best vanilla. And even though I'm in Texas and I love my Bluebell, my favorite ice cream of all time does not come from Bluebell. It is a Brahms ice cream that I don't even know if they make anymore. And it was cherry chocolate chip. So let's do this without getting splashed too bad. And yes, that steam is hot, so be careful. This is boiling, so everything in it is hot. And we are going to bring this to a boil. There's kind of some question as to when to add the marjoram. Some people add it later, some people add it sooner. And like oregano, some people are like, well, you have to rub it between your fingers to break it open because it's oregano. It's sweet oregano. Of course, I don't think anyone's grandmother actually used a measuring spoon. She would have been like this. I'm going to go ahead and put it in there. I'm going to put about a teaspoon of marjoram in here. Am I feeling any better? Yes. And I overslept this morning. I got some cough syrup from the store, same place I get all the other like Goya stuff and all that. And that stuff knocked me out, and I'm feeling better. Not great, but better. I'm going to bring this to a boil and let it start cooking. I might actually start on the other one here in a minute. Don't worry, my stove is clean. Anyone on Rumble? MJKO. Awesome. Thank you for leaving a comment. I don't know if rants are available over there or not, but no one's ever left me a rant, so I don't know. Let me check the other comments section on here. Comments. Hold on, let me mute this. Okay. I don't know if you can leave a rant on Rumble or not. You should. A crab, was that a turtle, and 3 mice? I can make a meal with 2 of those. But I don't know how to view and see if you can leave rants or not. So, I don't know. Oh, some rats. Okay, I got you. Rants, how you leave money, kind of like super chats on Rumble. I don't know if it gives that option. I know on Rumble I've made $5.03 in like a year and a half that I've had an account on Rumble. You're not getting rich on it. Unless you're some already popular talking head or what have you that got canceled on regular media. And at that point, you might. You definitely might. I'm I'm wondering if I ought to start the cabbage soup. I don't know. We'll cook this for a minute and then I'll decide. But the next thing I'm going to do is kind of like what I did last week. I've got some more sausage to use up and some bacon to use up. And I got hamburger meat to go in there. And I have a cabbage, some onions, some carrots. And I guess I'll use this for garlic again. Let me taste that. That's about right. 2 tablespoons of, you can either use 7 garlic cloves, like fresh ones, and smash them like I usually do, or just 2 tablespoons of just minced garlic. That seems to come out right. Let me taste it again. There we go. I still prefer fresh. But this is what I eat throughout the week. And I don't know if I'm corking anybody's chats or not, but I don't think I'm hurting any of them. Oh, now I know who you are. Liberty from Lead. Yes, I know who you are now. Let me check out Rumble. Oh, coolness. Well, Dustin, you are my first Rumble rant. Awesome. I think that's Dustin. Oh, Krabby Turtle. I'm sorry. Krabby Turtle, you are my first Rumble rant. Getting people confused. Type a message in here. So now I know that it can be done. So thank you, Krabby Turtle. I got confused there for a second because of people changing names. Oh, you cut taters wrong too? Awesome. Awesome. Now I need to get that egg. Why I should do that. There are things I think my wife does intentionally just to make me mad. But in a very real sense, isn't that everyone's? Like, I need attention. And here's the sausage. Here's that, so I'll go ahead and get that out. As I kick the dog's bowl. My wife just started a new job today. It depends on which channel. The way Rumble works is you have your channel and then you have your channels within that channel. So you'll miss a lot of things that people post because it'll end up going to the wrong one. Is there a link in the, I think the link that I sent should send you there. Let me see if I can do another link. Share URL. Will I get in trouble if I post it? Can I? Oh yeah, I can't post the Rumble link, can I? I might get in trouble for that already. Let me go. I think I posted it already on Discord. Okay. So I posted another link on Discord. See if you can follow that link, or if someone else wants to take that link and repost it in the comments, because I think I can get in trouble for posting that. I don't remember. I don't remember all the things that Honda got canceled for, or shut down, or whatever you want to call it. But he's the one that has used this thing the most out of all of us. I think I used it before then, but they used it way more. So my account's older, but they've used it a lot more than I have. And yes, I like my cute little thing here. My cute little West. I have one egg. Hold on, let me mute this. Okay, sorry. I was getting honeydews. Anyways, that is one egg that is beaten and ready to pour in here. Cool this down. I'm going to try it real quick. And let me know if that link works that's on my Discord. Not quite there yet. So while it's doing that, I'm going to start chopping up some vegetables. For my next dish. Which is just going to be a couple onions, a bell pepper, or 2 or 3. Some carrots, that sort of thing. The garlic soup, basically when your potatoes are done, your soup's done and it's ready. If there's any question of that, just take a little piece of it out and try it. From the commotion going on in the back room, what my guess would be is that she has food. She sat down on the bed with food, in front of a mastiff and wonders why he wants to get up in the bed right next to her and won't leave her alone. That would be my guess. And the dog is going to go where his nose is. Dennis? Dennis? Come here. Sit down. Hey DJ, how you doing? I'm feeling a little better. Well, actually a lot better. Not as bad as I was yesterday. I'll go ahead and chop this stuff up while that's cooking. So this is what I need another camera for. That way I can switch. But the other thing is too, it's almost like I would need to have them wireless. So that I could switch back and forth, because there's a problem of running cables. I mean, my kitchen's not big. My kitchen's very small. But then running the cables back and forth from one side to the other is a completely different thing. It's like there's not enough room. And like right now, I guess you could watch me chop up my onions and my bell peppers for my next dish. But I do eat this stuff on the road. Like we were talking about, like diabetes and stuff earlier. Another reason that I actually started this channel is wanting to eat healthier and not the truck stop food, because someone in our family had lost a foot due to diabetes. They didn't take care of it very well. I can't even say that I would take care of it very well. I'm not a good patient. My wife can attest to that. And it's sort of like that reality check of, yeah, we're not kids anymore, and people are losing limbs. And I don't want that to be me. So even if it's not necessarily the quote unquote healthiest of foods, let me know if y'all can hear me okay. But even if it's not quote unquote the healthiest of foods, because I mean, let's face it, blueberry kolaches aren't exactly health food. They're wonderful. If they're not health food, it's still better than anything I would be getting from a truck stop. I do need to get my weight down. I think that's everyone, like across the board, except for a select few. You know, everyone's like, I need to lose weight. I need to get my weight down. It's a universal complaint for most of us. And it doesn't get any easier as you get older. When you're a teen, it's like, I missed breakfast, so I lost 5 pounds. In your 20s, you can skip a meal or two, you're fine. It starts kind of slowing down in the 30s, and you're like, hey, this ain't right. You know, you can still do it. When you get in your 40s, and it's like, okay. I think the warranty on the human body expires somewhere in your 40s. Just nothing is as easy or works as well or feels as good. I don't think it gets any better from that point, you know. Sort of, I knew it was over the hill, but I didn't know there were no brakes on the cart when I pushed it over, which is kind of where I'm at right now. It's all a downhill slide from here. Cool. Y'all can hear me still. I'll let that boil a little bit. The egg is ready. And it's not going to hurt anything just to sit there for a few minutes. While I do this. Turn the water too cold. Vegetables. These aren't extremely big bell peppers. They'll work. I'm not going to chop them up. For those that didn't know, paprika is bell pepper. It's dried out bell pepper. Of which my favorites and probably the best are sweet Hungarian paprika. And if you can't get that, Spanish paprika is a close second. For most things, I don't use smoked paprika. It just doesn't work. But there are some dishes where smoked paprika is the thing that you want. But not in most of my meals. So you check the messages. How's the kitties and Dennis? Well, if you heard the background there, they're live, they're frisky, they're doing their thing. They're nuts, but they're doing good. They're all doing good. And I'm chopping bell peppers while y'all are literally watching a pot boil. I'm sorry. One day I will get more cameras. I was having GoPro issues on my bike today. I'm like, DJI, send me one to test. Please. I will gladly test out one for DJI. Like GoPro's is standard. But there are some good companies that I think are fixing to blow them out of the water. You can't get lax and think, well, you got the market cornered because there's someone waiting just for that opportunity. I like the GoPro Mini 11 until you start having problems, and then it's a pain in the ass. Like any electronics are. Just about through with this bell pepper. I might even add potatoes to the cabbage soup. I don't know. We'll see where that one leads us. That's more of a hobo stew kind of thing I'm going to be doing. This knife is very sharp. Careful, that is my finger. And I do need fingers. Chop, 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 chop. this up, I'll check on the soup before I get into the carrots. The carrots are what's going to be next. And I'll show you. That's what I'm doing. Find me a good piece. Oh yeah, that's done. That's ready. It's also very hot temperature-wise. Of course, it just came out of a pot of boiling water. And you can use a spoon, you can use a spatula you've been using, you can use whatever. But what you're going to do at this point, you can use a cup, you can use like what I'm doing. You're going to pour just a little in at a time. And you're going to keep stirring it. The soup goes good poured over Swiss cheese, but half the time I'm using cheddar cheese. And it also goes good with rye bread croutons. You can make those just like dark rye bread and take a slice of that and you just cut it up into little squares like crouton size, a little olive oil in a pan, and you make croutons. I do not have any dark rye bread right now. I did look for it when I was at the store and they didn't have it. I generally find it like where the Jewish bread, that sort of stuff is. Just stir it around. Try to avoid the temptation to just dump it in there at the end. Like, I'm done. I'm gonna have to wash some stuff before I start on my next thing. And of course, the eggs cook very, very quickly. Where is... I was sure I had a... That was right. I open up the dishwasher and get a face full of steam. Never said I was smart. Where is the ladle? Here it is. I'll wash this off. Yeah. I'll dish up a bowl here in a second. I make it spoon. You can turn the heat off now. And especially if you're sick, you're not feeling good, you're going to want to get that broth in there. Whatever kind you're using. And there you go. You don't have to pour it over cheese. You can just, let me see. Later, Dustin. Oh, cool. Let me know. So I'm going to take a bite or two of this before I start in on the rest of this. Because I actually haven't ate today. I haven't ate anything today. And that just is. So I'm going to move this to the back burner. I'm going to move this over here. And I'm going to clean these two items. At least this one, because I'm going to need it. I don't have a whole lot of dishes and a whole lot of pans. So I'll work with what I got. That will work. Now, where do I want to move my soup? And a viewer with their own channel, Moto Noggin. If any of y'all watch his channel, he sent me a shirt that I got in the mail today. So I did get the shirt. I'm going to get this stuff ready. And do the bacon first. Then, what order do I want to do this? Now that I have my vegetables done, I put the meat on here. Just about. Let me get these carrots real quick. And then we'll do the meat. That way I don't have to wash my cutting board again. But we're going to have onions, carrots, garlic. Got bacon to use up, so I'm going to use bacon. I have sausage to use up, so I'm going to use sausage. And I have hamburger meat, so we're going to use hamburger. And so far, my camera's been doing good. I don't want to jinx it. Hopefully it doesn't go out like last time. Wasn't the camera that was the charge. And I left the computer plugged in. I just let it charge all it could. So hopefully the charge stays up. It is plugged in and charging. One more carrot. I don't even know if y'all can hear me peeling it. But that is a carrot. I'm going to cut this 4 ways, or really 2 ways, making 4 pieces. And I'm going to sort of dice it. And that's what I'm going to do with all of them. And of course, like anything else, the larger you cut them, the longer it's going to take for them to cook. I just put this in there with the bell pepper. And once I get these 2 more carrots here cut up, we're going to start with the bacon. So anybody who's still there, thank you so much for staying. Leave a comment if you can actually hear me chopping. I'm curious. This is just hobo soup, whatever you want to call it, that I'm making next. Cabbage soup. Not quite kapuzniak, but it is what it is. I'm just throwing stuff together. I like it. I think it'll taste good. I'm going to put it in here. And it's my kitchen, so I can do what I want. So there. Which should I cook first? Probably the bacon. And once again, I'm not going to cut them up real small. Like little 1-inch squares. And it's not going to be like cooked. It's going to be kind of more rendered, if that makes any sense. They can take my gas stove, as old as it is, from my cold, dead hands. Maybe I ought to come up with a shirt or a coffee cup or something with that statement, since they're wanting to come after gas stoves now. I do not like electric. I've cooked on them. When I lived in apartments, that was your only choice, really. But I prefer gas. I'll wash my hand. A lot of washing. Lovely. That's maple bacon. This is going to be interesting. See what kind of flavor it adds. A little plastic spatula. Doesn't need to be up that high. Course, we're just going to cook it a little bit. We're going to take it, we're going to set it to the side, and this pot or this bowl, stainless steel bowl right there. $111 Fahrenheit. Yeah, I can see not cooking. You know, you can do cold things though. Like you can make a fruit salad kind of thing. There's all sorts of, you know, cold options for food that you could do. When it's really hot like that, like when I was doing construction and stuff, we didn't eat heavy for lunch. You know, you'd have fruit. You'd take fruit out of the cooler and you'd have like big cold slices of like mango and cantaloupe and watermelon. And that did well. Wild Thing, welcome to the chat. Right now I'm doing kind of just a hobo stew, throwing stuff together. I cooked a garlic soup before, which is what's back there. And it's cooled off enough, I can put that in there. That is the garlic soup. This one's more kind of like a hobo soup sort of thing, hobo stew. I'm just throwing stuff in here: bacon, sausage, hamburger meat, onions, bell pepper. I should have got some celery. I don't have any celery, but I do have carrots, so I guess that's more rarefied than Trinity. But Trinity would have been celery and stuff instead. But I'm gonna put cabbage in there, sausage, hamburger meat, and kind of throwing it all together. This is my food for the week. This is what I'll be eating when I get back up to North Dakota. So right now I'm just kind of cooking the bacon some, rendering it down, and I'm gonna take it out of the pot. Then I'm probably gonna put the sausage in here. In fact, I think that's what I'm gonna do. I'll put the sausage in here, and then we'll do the hamburger. That will work out a whole lot better. This sausage is skinless, so I don't even have to skin it. It's not exactly a good kielbasa. It's cheddar smoked. It's this stuff. I'm not the one who bought that. I buy better sausage. But different strokes, different folks, different tastes. I'm usually getting like venison sausage or garlic sausage or andouille. Unless you can find somebody that can like just make you good like kielbasa. I would love to have the equipment to do that, but I don't. So this is what I have. Unless somebody really donates heavily to my Patreon. I'm gonna have to plug my phone in before it dies, so I don't lose the Rumble chat. And there we go. I'll put the Rumble chat up here. And hopefully that doesn't fall. I do have my sausage cut up and ready. This is going to be an interesting flavor combination. But sort of the point to this is showing how you just have some ingredients. You can throw things together. Nothing has to be exact. You can always make a meal. There are people who they have to have every single thing exact to cook. And they'll look in the cabinets and they'll see all this food in there and they're like, there's nothing here to cook. Well, I grew up poor. I'll find something to cook. If I don't have sausage, I can put Spam in there and put a little sage in with it. You know, there's all kinds of things that you can do. And you can always come up with a meal. You know, as long as you have a few things around, you can do a whole bunch of stuff. You know, it's good to have like some onions, but you don't have to have them, you know? Just like the garlic. I don't have fresh garlic today, so I'm using that. You can always find something to put together. Just use your imagination, if that makes any sense. And then sometimes you end up making something very wonderful and the whole family loves it and requests it. It becomes like grandma or mom or dad's favorite meal sort of thing. Like, this is their soup. How did you make that? Well, one day I was trying to make this soup, or I was trying to make this dish, and I didn't have all the ingredients, so I tried this to see if it would turn out. And that's how that happens. Kind of like how my mom started using cornflakes in her meatloaf. She didn't have anything else to put in it, so she used cornflakes, and that kind of became her thing. Let's see. Oh yeah, definitely. There's Chapel Hill makes really good sausage down here. Sometimes I'll stop when I'm coming down 290 and I'll go in and I'll get some stuff from them. Woody's on 45, up there, I think it's exit 164. Don't ever stop at Buc-ee's. That place is a tourist trap with a bunch of crap and like mediocre at best brisket. That no, not in Texas. If they were some other state, maybe, but you can't pass that off for brisket in Texas. Stop at Woody's, you know, someplace like that, and they have amazing barbecue. You'll get a sliced brisket sandwich that is way, way better than what you'll get at Buc-ee's. If you're going down I-10, you get out in West Texas, stop in Junction, Texas, and there's Cooper's Barbecue. Amazing food. You know, here around Houston, there's too many barbecue places you can go to that it's just going to give you way better food. The one thing I can't do with Spam is I can't eat raw Spam. I just can't do it. I think it's getting there. Let me put the lid on it for a minute. I can't do raw Spam because when we were homeless and I was like 11, 12 years old, and I didn't go to the 5th grade. I had to test out of it the next year because I was taking care of my sister. And we lived on the road, and that's just the way it was. But this is before you had the refrigerators and the trucks and all that kind of stuff, you know. And this is like late 80s. Well, you could have Spam. You have potted meat and crackers and that sort of thing. And my mom would make cold Spam sandwiches, slicing up the Spam, because like one of the things is Spam, she could feed the whole family, and she'd put it on bread, and it would have just, you know, plain yellow mustard, Spam, and bread. And we ate so much stuff like that that I just can't eat cold Spam anymore. I can't do it. Okay. I think I'm going to add the sausage to it. I don't know. I don't want to cook the bacon too much. I don't want it. And yes, I know you can cook bacon, put a little water in there. That's another trick. That's doing something else. If you haven't tried that, that works when you're frying bacon in a skillet. We're not going for frying. We're going more for like rendering. So this is going to go right back in the soup. And it's about to go in this pot here. Hold on a second. She's got to grab something. Okay, she had to get something out of the fridge. Eduardo, how are you doing? Here we go. It's gonna be about as much as I'm gonna cook this. Everything's hot, as always. I don't want to do that without the drippings. I'm trying to work around the camera and do this. Camera can complicate things. Okay, I have that. I almost want to add a little oil to it because that's not enough drippings. That bacon did not have enough drippings. So, I'm going to add just a little bit of oil. Could have used butter, you know, say, for the house. If you get burnt little crispy things on the bottom, that's good. Don't worry about it. That's flavor. Kind of like burn ends. That's flavor. I'm just putting a little bit of brown on this, and then I'm going to move it. It's technically the wrong sausage to use, but I'm going to move it over there to the other pot, and we're going to do our hamburger meat. And then we'll move back to the pot, and we'll start throwing vegetables in here and cooking them down. Butter would work, lard would work. If you have some baking grease sitting to the side, that would work. I was hoping for more baking grease. It is what it is. There's my soup. And yes, I'm still eating this one. It is the only thing I have ate today. Probably about as much as the sausage needs. It doesn't need a whole lot. Number one, sausage is already cooked. At least that kind. And it's going to be going into a soup. It's going to boil and cook it. I just want some flavor on the crust. And a little bit of drippings to season everything else. And the Hispanic store where I got my meat from, they put it in a plastic bag. It works. They have really good prices, by the way. I'm still getting like 1 pound ribeyes from them for like $12, $13. Spend like nearly 20 at HEB, which HEB has really good meat. I'm going to an actual grocery store. It's going to be HEB. It's not going to be Walmart. I hate Walmart. Walmart treats truck drivers like crap. So I do my best not to shop there. Who else in here? Ghost Shadow says, when his dog sniffs spam, they try to bury it. Cool. Cool. And let me check back to the Rumble chat. Cool. I got 9 watching on Rumble. No more comments. 11 watching. Cool. I had to plug it in. So we're just going to brown the hamburger meat. We're pretty close to it. And we're going to move it over to here with the rest of this. And then I'm going to start throwing the vegetables in. I think I have all the vegetables diced up. Everything with the cabbage. Got to cut the cabbage up. And you can use beef or chicken bouillon or a mixture of both. I'm probably going to do both. just because. Like last time, it was all, beef stock, but I put that one thing of, chicken bone broth in there. It's an added little flavor. And it worked. It turned out. I don't know how some of these chats go on forever when they don't have someone to talk to. It's different. So you can have a conversation about something interesting. But what I've found, even like when I have somebody on my channel, when I've done interviews and stuff like my other channel, is that about an hour, unless you're talking about something everybody's really, really into, like you're on a geek chat and a new Marvel movie's coming out and everybody's making predictions or something. Yeah, that chat can go for a while, but usually somewhere around an hour or so it starts petering off. Oh. But some people have that talent and they can sit there and talk to a camera for hours and hours and hours. And they have talk shows and stuff. But even then, a lot of those guys have a studio and they have people that work that studio. There's people moving around. There's a camera guy. There's all sorts of stuff there. There's other people. When you're sitting there by yourself, it's a totally different thing. I'm hoping to get some more drippings in the bottom of here. Hoping. I'm not guaranteeing anything. But I'm wanting some more drippings before I chunk the vegetables in. I got 2 small onions. I've got 3 kind of medium carrots. I've got 2 bell peppers. Was going to be 3, but I didn't like the one. And then I want to put some garlic in there. Then I'll cut up the cabbage. We'll put that in there. Cook it down a little. And then we'll add more stock, broth, meat, that sort of thing. Have I seen the videos people cook on it? I used to do that, and there's some equipment they used to make with a box on the exhaust manifold. I swear I can remember seeing that on an old Dozer. I remember running a D6, and what I would do was I'd get like one of them small metal bread pans, and I would make like chicken and rice with like cream of chicken, that sort of thing. I'd have it wrapped in aluminum foil, and about 45 minutes or so before lunch, I'd stop and I would put that on my exhaust manifold. I had a way to wedge it on there where it wouldn't go anywhere. And at lunchtime, I had hot food. But I wasn't cooking it. I was just heating up my food. But yeah, there's people, cooking like cookies on their dash, all kinds of stuff. Yeah. I'm sure someone has figured out how to cook actual meals doing that. I was always heating stuff back up. This is one of them things we're browning it, but if you go a little more than brown, it's not going to matter. And this meat is way too lean. I mean, it's good that it's lean. I'm not getting a lot of drippings out of it. I'm getting some, but it's very lean, so I'm not getting a whole lot. I'm wanting the drippings. Oh yeah, you don't want to blow that all over everything. Oh, my new truck is in the shop. My boss went to move it today. I don't know if he did something wrong or if there was something wrong when I parked it. So I was having issues. It had a major air leak. I got it to the yard and now it's at the shop. And my boss said the service light was coming on for the transmission. So I don't know what the deal is. But I've never driven an automatic truck before. Ever. That's the first time I've driven an automatic truck. And granted, it is interesting. But it's just, I want my stick. I think it'd be good for regular freight because coming back empty, it wasn't so bad. But I pull a smoothbore tanker and that screws up the transmission wanting to shift. The only way I could take off is to put it in manual. Oh, we're getting there. Just about. Kind of a little crispy there. Why am I not getting more? You can always use more stuff up. You see something else, vegetables, meat-wise. You can do this with Spam. Not a problem. I would suggest adding sage. And then Spam will taste more like sausage. Yes, I'm still eating. My only meal for the day. If food prices keep going up, I'm only going to be able to eat one meal a day. It's getting insane. I remember when the kids were little, being able to make a game out of grocery shopping. And we'd try to keep it under $100. And we would feed the whole family for a week on $100. And we ate well. It's not like anyone was starving. You know, it's not like anyone actually went without. I'm just going to go back here. I need to move this closer. We ate pretty well. I wouldn't want to have to try to do that today. Although I would love to get my grocery bill down. That would be awesome. Gonna have to check the Rumble chat here in a minute. If anyone's left a message on Rumble, I'll have to grab my phone. I got it put up on top of the fridge charging. You don't have to get all of the hamburger meat out. You can leave some in there. Little tiny pieces, what have you. That's not going to hurt nothing. Okay. And if you do that, remember that's going to be hot. And I might as well use up this butter. That's not going back in the fridge. You gotta. What order do I want to do this? We have. Do the onions first. A source of many arguments in this house has been there's nothing to eat. I open the fridge, I open the cabinets, and there's plenty to eat. Of course, all these vegetables, they're going to cook down. That butter, that bacon grease, and the sausage and the hamburger drippings all over all of these vegetables. It's kind of like you're making a flavor palette. Either that or you're pretending you're 9 years old again, making something your parents really don't want to eat, but they're going to have to try. One or the other. I'm not sure which yet. Hold on. Caraway seeds I'm going to need. I don't know if I want a bay leaf or not. I might. White pepper, black pepper, garlic powder. Here's paprika. I like paprika. And here's oregano. I have salt. I don't know if I want to add anything else. Maybe onion powder? Maybe? I don't know. We'll see how it turns out. Cover that up for a minute. Now I have to clean my cutting board. So I didn't plan that too well. It's cool though. And a small head of cabbage. Olive oil. See, small head of cabbage. I generally put it in kind of chunks. And my phone may have just died. It did. Something's always dying on these chats. Okay, is there something I can put this in? don't know why that bent with the heat. Oh, I forgot this. More onion. I like to have sort of chunks of cabbage in a soup. This is the kind of soup that, yes, during the Great Depression, they were like, hey, you can throw anything into it. I think what they took was like a more traditional Irish soup. And they made, like the mulligan stew. And they made the hobo stew kind of out of that. It's kind of the same thing. But then you got the Slavic end of it. And, well, we got kapuzniak, but it's not quite mulligan stew, but kind of close. But you got the same basic things. And if you got some vegetables, you got a head of cabbage, you got some potatoes or anything like that, there's no reason to not be able to make a meal. One of these days I'll be able to put that into words better. I think you'll get what I'm saying. You can make something good that tastes really, really good. You just kind of build on those flavors. Stir this. Gotta watch it when you pick up a lid. You get hot water dripping off of it. I'm wearing like steel-toed work boots because I don't have any shoes. I literally do not own any shoes. And that's just the way it worked out. That's not like it was some sort of moral choice or something. I'm not going to wear shoes. It's just kind of, I don't know any. I got one pair of sandals and I got work boots. Yeah. And that would be all the cabbage I was cutting up. For anyone who's still there, I would check the Rumble chat. I don't know if it'll kick me off though. Let me see if I can flip over on the computer. Is it going? I don't know how to get the volume down. It needs to be off. There we go. If that squealed, I'm sorry. I hope it did not squeal. Let me go. Live chat is over here. Cool. Awesome. Let me go back to StreamYard. Okay, StreamYard, here we go. I hope I didn't squeal through everyone's ears there. I think that one should be muted. If it did, I'm sorry. Let me know. Coolness. DJ posted some stuff here that is pretty important. He helped Brooke out on her Saturday chats. We talk a lot about mental health and preventing suicide. And you can post a link to that chat in here before you go if you want. I don't want to mess up the thing. But if you want to post a link to Brooke's chat, that would be awesome. Once again, be careful when you take that lid off. And I actually like vegetables. I don't feel right if I don't have enough vegetables. So I may be weird that way. I'm going to put about half of the garlic in that I put in the last dish. I think it needs more. I'll add more. Thanks for being on there or in the chat, DJ. There's also what would be kind of cool is to figure out what things grow in your local or regional area that grow wild and eat. Like, I remember my aunts making stuff like pulp salad, dandelions and stuff like that. And just knowing what you can eat is a really good thing. Cook this down for just a little bit longer. And then we're going to add more. Let me go back and check the other. Leave a chat on Rumble here. Thank you to everyone still watching. And that should go up here. I'll figure it out. Rumble is kind of a pain from a creator standpoint. Like going through StreamYard. Because of how you have to set it up and how you have to get a new stream key and everything every single time. Every single time you have to do that. So what did Edward do to his phone? I am cooking, so I won't catch everything. What I was mentioning earlier, Brooke has her Suicide Prevention Saturday chats. And, you know, if you really want to stop deaths by firearm, since most of them, like about 2/3 of them are suicides, why wouldn't you be looking into mental health? why wouldn't you be getting people, to take care of their mental health if you really wanted to stop these gun deaths? What was this? Why did it fall? Okay. Hopefully that didn't do anything to the stream. Showing it on my end. I dropped oregano on my keyboard. But if any of y'all want to post the link to her channel in my chat, you're more than welcome to. Because I don't want to go back into YouTube and mess up the StreamYard thing, because I'm not exactly that good with it. My head's in about 3 different places right now. It was good. That's what you're supposed to do. That's what I always forget to do. Add, no. Do you know I'm going to grind some caraway seeds for right now? Because the cabbage is going to have a lot of water in it. Maybe I want to stir this again first. I don't know. There we go. My camera's in a little different position. It's messing with me. And there's the cabbage. Put that down for a minute. And I have a mortar and pestle. That I'm about to use for these. Cabbage and caraway seeds go good together. Got probably a teaspoon in here. And you're gonna get some powder and stuff, but mainly what I'm doing is I'm cracking open these seeds. Like, quite for real, mortar and pestle. No, they're not all crushed. They're broken open, little powder, just a little help speeding the process along. What else I need to get? Something. I'm going to use marjoram, possibly oregano, definitely salt, definitely pepper, definitely paprika. And that's something that you can sort of build up know I have a lot of preppers and stuff in my chats. Kind of like how you build up ammo, that sort of thing, where you may not have a whole bunch of money for it, but you can buy like, you know, 1 box a week, that sort of thing. To get like spices, like if you've got spices, there's a lot of things you can do with food. And, you know, you don't have to buy everything at once. You know, obviously you have your salt, your pepper, and to be honest, carrots, celery, bell pepper, onion, garlic. That's my main spices because I use them a lot as spices. But all these other things like, you know, Hungarian paprika and all this other stuff, you can build up a little at a time. Like, you know, you can get this one or that one. Marjoram, it's not that expensive, but when it, you know, things are tight, you don't have to get everything at the same time. You can come through and, well, I like this one, and sort of build up a spice rack. Or you can go and buy a spice rack pre-made. Some of them will automatically refill them. But I can tell you this, if you buy one that's pre-made, a lot of times there will be spices that you use that will not be in those spice racks anyways. So you got to buy these little ones to add to it. But you can always build on it. As long as you have salt, pepper, you have something for some kind of bouillon or stock that you can make, which you can make your own stock. Like you can make your own bone broth. You can buy a small chicken and you can do all that on your own. So you got salt, pepper, you got a couple of vegetables, you got some kind of meat, you can make something. So how's it cooking down? Like I said, it'll all cook down. It looks like, oh my God, that's too much stuff in the pot, especially if you got a big head of cabbage like y'all seen me do before, but it all cooks down. This cooks a little bit more. I'm going to start adding some stuff to it. I'm talking about phones. I hate buying new stuff all the time. I reject the idea of having to buy a new phone or something every 2 years and always having to have the latest and the greatest. That's just sucking the money out of everybody's families. You've got this $1,000 item that's going to be trash in 2 years. I want it to last longer than that. Then you have planned obsolescence, which I think should be a federal crime. And any company that's caught and convicted of doing that, they should take all the CEOs, all the people that were actually running it up at the top that were making decisions, and they should give them really, really long prison sentences. Just for the harm that they do to the American public. And then maybe they'll stop doing it. Or maybe it's just I don't like having something that doesn't work because somebody programmed it on the last update to slow down to force me to buy something new. Because quite honestly, I'd be happy with a rotary phone and nobody calling me all day. But I'm sure Ghost Shadow remembers. You're definitely old enough. But back when we used to go places, it was nice when they got answering machines. Because now you had an answering machine to take a message. and somebody would call you on a Saturday, you went out fishing, or let's say it's a Tuesday, you're on vacation. You took your 2 weeks vacation, you went somewhere, and they just left a message. You know, it's like, hi, you've reached Tara Smith. I'll be gone for the next 2 weeks. Please leave a message and I'll get back to you when I get back in 2 weeks. Thank you, bye. And nobody could get a hold of you for 2 weeks. I miss that. Nowadays, everyone's jobs thinks it's appropriate to be able to contact them 24/7. I think if you're off work, they shouldn't be able to call you unless it's to come into work. Oh yeah, cassette tapes. I remember that. How much more is that cooking now? I can smell the cabbage. Well, that's I need to use this chicken stock. So, I'm going to pour in this chicken stock. That right there, you know what it is. And all these caraway seeds. I think that's enough. So let me think. Marjoram. Maybe a teaspoon or two. Not that much. Most of that liquid down there is juices from the vegetables and the bacon and the sausage and the cabbage and all that stuff. Speaking of batteries, remember when you could solve problems with your phone by taking the battery out and just leaving it alone for a few minutes and putting the battery back in? Or when your phone would get wet, you know, you drop it down in a puddle or in a diesel tank or something, like you're not, what do they call it? That berm you have around the diesel tanks when you're filling up equipment and it's all down in that funk, and you pull your phone out of it. You'd take the battery out, you'd set it up on the dash, let it dry for a day or two, and then your phone worked. Remember those days? I miss those days. It's about 1.5 teaspoons of paprika. What else do I want? Probably the same with white pepper, about 1.5 teaspoons. White pepper is one of them items that is one of the more expensive end of the spices. Some spices are expensive, some spices are not so expensive. So I was saying you can get them a little at a time. You really get to a point where there's like a handful that you really use a lot, and the others you don't use that often anyways. And here's black pepper. Probably about the same. Yes, we're stewing all this down in its own juices. I'm not sure how much salt this is. That's probably about 1 teaspoon. It doesn't have to be Himalayan pink salt. It can be any salt. Honestly, something like seasoning salt would work really well. Okay. I'm gonna start adding this back to it. Hopefully without pouring it all over myself. Oh yeah, the wattage and everything's going down significantly, and appliances are getting smaller, lighter. They don't use as much. They also don't work as well. I mean, there's things that they do fantastically better, like surf the internet, stuff like that. But then there's just things that, you know, when you have that old Nextel, it was a good phone. It was also a good, basically two-way radio. So, how many potatoes do I want to add to this? I'm going to add potatoes. Probably should have added the potatoes sooner. But, oh well. It is what it is. Not wanting the pieces too big. I'm not throwing that away. How was I cutting this? Okay. At this point, this is going to be when the potatoes are done, your meal is done, just like it was before. Yeah, there's a bad spot right there on that potato, and I'm just cutting around it. When this is all done, I have to dish it up, put it in the fridge, then put it. It's not really a refrigerator; it's a cooler. One of them, like Igloo, what is it, 40 quart, something like that, and put all my food in there for the week. So I'm wanting to have a significant amount of food here because this is like a week's worth of food. Once I take off. I know I might do one or two more potatoes. And from my experience, cooking things like this, they tend to get better as the days go on. Like all the seasoning, like anything else, any soup, anything like that, the seasoning really sinks in, settles in. Whether that's seasoning from actual spices or from the components you put in there, like the vegetables and that sort of thing. Once it gets to like day 3 or 4, it just seems to be seasoned perfect. Day 3 is about perfect. I mean, it's good immediately, but it just gets better. Okay. Watch it. You don't want things flying out of the pot. You can hear all that water boiling underneath. Okay, got hot water. I think I want to put beef bouillon in it. I don't know where. There we go. Roasted beef base. That will work. I'm just going to eyeball this if I can get it open. Oh, that hurt. But I got it open. And this is like cold. The hot water. I don't know how well it's going to mix in here. Give it a second. Shouldn't have to add a whole hell of a lot. We're just going to bring the water level up with the beef base to just cover everything up. We've already got a lot of juices and everything in there from the cabbage, from the vegetables, from everything else. There we go. This is going to get all hot. if your bouillon or what have you wasn't mixed in there exactly perfectly, it's about to get diluted because it's going to be hot as hell. It's got some weight to it. It's bending my spatula. It's trying to pull this stuff up sort of from the bottom to the top. I might actually need some more. I'm wanting to make sure those potatoes and stuff are covered up, and you do want some juice with your soup. Like good brothy, tastes good kind of thing. They're not as important, I guess, now because it's summertime. That broth that you want to just drink by itself in the winter. I'm trying to warm up. You can do this with the chicken bouillon too. You don't have to use beef. Just a reminder. Okay, that looks better. And bring this to a boil. You go ahead and see if that helps. Oh yeah. There are a lot of things that are, Ghost Shadow, let me click the comment here. Me and you have done some very similar things in some very similar places and lived very similar ways. We've been where they say it's 47 below zero or 50 below zero, and they're not talking about wind chill, you know, where you had to have supplies because there was no running last minute for supplies. You better have it on you. You better be able to fend for yourself, you know, because there was nobody coming. And if there was somebody coming, you did not get out of your truck because you don't want to freeze to death and conserve your heat. But yeah, cooking stuff for a week at a time. It works really good, especially with my job. You know, then I can cook things and I can go do what I've got to do. And I've already got all the food cooked, and then I can cook something else when I get home. I used to cook on the truck, but then it makes the truck smell like all the food and stuff. It just doesn't work. If you can go outside and cook, like, you know, some people have a barbecue pit they take with them, that sort of thing, that would work well, but I'm always pulling a tanker. So that doesn't work well with a tanker. Flatbed, dry van, something like that, awesome. I've got a Coleman dual fuel that I used to do. I used to put that on the catwalk and I would cook things on the road. But this meal right here, once the potatoes are done, it will be done. Which will probably be about 20, 25 minutes. I don't know if you want to wait that long. If you do, that would be awesome. I need the watch time. Let me see if my Rumble wants to come back up. And see if I can see anything on Rumble. Let's see, turning my phone back on. Probably gonna start dishing some of this up too. I should be taking a vacation next month for about a week. I don't know what all I'm doing that week, but I am going through my house. I'm steam cleaning my house. I'm hoping to have time to paint the inside and the outside. Basically, I'm taking a week off work to work on my house. And hopefully I'll get my kitchen painted. And speak of the devil, there is Brooke with A Great Start Shooting School. If anyone is not subscribed to her channel, please do, and please watch. It is over topics I greatly support, and she could use all the views she could get to. So great seeing you on here. I made garlic soup back there, and I'm kind of doing a hobo stew sort of thing here, making my food for the week. Because I have to go back up to North Dakota. No, I'm not calling you to the devil. I'm from the South. Hopefully that wasn't offensive. So no, it's just, you're talking about someone. I was talking about your channel earlier, saying it would be a good channel to check out. And then here you are. So that's what I meant. I have to watch it with some of our Southern lingo. Although I get along up north fine. I even get along in New York City fine. I've delivered there enough times. But I have found out if you ask politely when you're in New York City, which I realize that's not where you live. You live up north and east of there in a better place. But if you ask politely, everyone runs over you and they don't seem to understand you. If you get just a little bit of anger boiling underneath, you throw a few foul words in there, you don't ask, hey, where's Joe's Pizza? Yes. Where the is Joe's Pizza? I can't, blinking, find it. And then they'll come back and it's like you're speaking their language. Like, oh yeah, cool. Even on the docks unloading, if you're nice and polite, they just run over you. They don't care. If you walk back there like it seems like you're mad, then it's like, okay, you're just having a normal conversation. But I have family up there. I've been New York City and New Jersey. I've been in both. Depends on where you're at too. Like you get down in the Bronx and it's like one side of the street's Italian and one side's Puerto Rican. And you're sitting with your friend that's Italian and he's like, we don't go to that side of the street. I'm like, okay. But I've got relatives and like Saugerties, Woodstock, Champlain. I got some in Boston. That's different side of the family. But of course, too, when I'm going into, New York City, New Jersey, I'm going someplace to unload an 18-wheeler. I'm going to like Hunts Point or, places like that. So it's a little bit different. I'm generally dealing with that class of people. Which is technically my class of people, just in a different area. New Jersey's a great place to do not take a shortcut in. Because if you take a shortcut in New Jersey, what looks like, oh, this will save 30 minutes off the trip, and you just added 3.5 hours. You know, it's like, don't take a shortcut. Just stick to the plan, go through. New Jersey is the only state you have to pay to get out of. It's free to get in. You can always get in the garbage state for free. But you got to pay to get out unless you take the freebie 90. And it's a little bit out of route to do that if you're going south. Freebie 95, whatever it is. You go back up into Philly. And then you come back and you come down. Yeah, New Jersey's crazy. Although if you see a food truck, ask them for like, what is it? Taylor ham on a hard roll SPK. They'll hook you up. The food trucks are different. You know, you go up there, they got food trucks that have, you know, it's different food. I mean, they got more of like the Mexican food and stuff up there now too, but you get like omelets and stuff. You know, where down here, it's all, you know, Mexican food pretty much. Or you have like the Tomaine wagon, which is like the guy that opens his door and he's got the sandwich that I would not suggest eating. Steam out. Nowhere near. Shut down might help. But just for reference, for people who are just joining the chat, in this pot, we started off with bacon, kind of rendered it down. Didn't get a whole lot of grease from it. I was hoping to get more. It was good bacon, though, so I didn't have too much grease. And then we added the sauce. You took that out, added the sausage, kind of browned it, got a little bit more drippings from that. Then we put the hamburger meat in, which was about 2 pounds. A big link of sausage, 2 pounds of hamburger meat, 3/4 of a pound of bacon. The 2 pounds of hamburger meat was pretty lean too, so didn't get a whole lot of drippings. I needed more. So then I put some butter in there with it just for something because I had to saute the vegetables. I had 2 onions. I think that was 3 bell peppers. Is that 3 or 4? 3 carrots that I diced up, and then 1 small head of cabbage. And of course, we took the meat out, then we added the vegetables, cut the cabbage down a little bit. And then we added the meat back in. I added just a little bit of chicken stock to it and let it cook down some more. Then we started adding beef base just to cover it up. Because I added, what was that, about 5 or 6 red potatoes diced up and just kind of covered them up. And once those red potatoes are done, it's done. I also added, I kind of ground up some caraway seeds, but not like totally ground up, more just break the seeds open good. And it's got probably close to a teaspoon of caraway seeds in it. About 1.5 teaspoons of marjoram. I can't remember if I added oregano. I did add a teaspoon and a half of white pepper and of black pepper, and probably a teaspoon of salt, a teaspoon and a half of Hungarian paprika. And I did not have a garlic clove that was good today, so I'm using this kind of garlic. I looked at the bulb of garlic and I didn't like it, so I couldn't go back to the store or anything. So I was trying that, and I put, what was that, a tablespoon, not a tablespoon, about 2 teaspoons, I think, yeah, 2 teaspoons, not quite a tablespoon, of the garlic in there, and it's basically just hobo stew, throwing things together. And like I said, just as soon as the potatoes are done, which is probably going to take, I'm going to estimate 10-15 more minutes. I'm going to taste it to see if it needs some more salt, because potatoes will suck up the salt in there and everything else. It'll be done. And salt is very subjective. Some people like more salt, some people like less salt. And if you don't think it tastes quite right, add just a little bit of salt, not too much. Taste it again. But always taste your soup. Always taste your flour. Like if you're frying something, you're battering chicken or fish, taste the flour. Make sure you got it right. And the same with the soup. You want to taste it. Soup, stew, anything. Basically, there's a reason that chefs walk around with these little tiny spoons in their pocket. Of course, they're disposable. You got to taste your food. And that tastes pretty good. That's about right. Awesome. Join in anytime. If I had a more regular schedule, it would be easier to catch me. But I don't. And that's how it is. I'm trying to do some more live chats, but always a pleasure to have you in the chat, or even on if you wanted to hop on at some point. Like I said, that is Brooke with a great start shooting school. I'm going to trip over my tongue. But a great start shooting school. Check out our channel if you haven't already. It is an awesome channel with an awesome message. So where am I at? Let me check Rumble. Rumble is a pain. Also, if you want to share this out or any of my chats out, I need, I think, 33 or 34 more subscribers on YouTube to be eligible to do the super chat thing. Then I also need like 2,000 more watch hours or what have you. So I need a bunch of watch hours, and I need 33, 34 more subs to get to there. So let me pull up Rumble. Hopefully that was not squealing. Did not mean to. I turned the phone back on and the volume kind of, I guess, was already up. So I had to turn the volume back down. So if it squealed in your ear, I am so sorry. I don't know how far behind it is in the chat. Just waving my hand in front of it there for a second to see how long it takes for it to show up on here. Okay. And it just showed up there. So Rumble's not too far behind the regular one. Let's go to the live chat and see what's up over there. Coolness. Just wanted to check back with the Rumble chat. Make sure y'all know I wasn't forgetting anyone, or at least not trying to. That hurt. Not too bad though. For my dog's water dish works for everything else, absolutely everything else, except for what I'm doing right now. So I'm not going to move it. I am going to start dishing this up though. Because if you use one of those coolers like I do, they're not really a refrigerator, or even if you're putting it in a refrigerator in a vehicle, you really need to have the food pre-cooled before you put it in there. No squeal there. Awesome. Sometimes when you get the channel on like two different things, it feeds back. I'm just trying not to do that. But this stuff's going to have to go in the fridge. And it's going to have to pre-cool, so it'll already be cold before it goes in my cooler. Now I can clean off my ladle. I'm going to need it in a minute. One down. Oh yeah, that works really good. If I had the gallon bags, that would work really good. I could also pack more food in there doing it that way. But then too, when I go on the truck stop to the microwave, because I don't have a microwave in the truck, I'm walking in there with this. And I'm heating it up in the microwave at a truck stop. Cooking ghost. We're not cooking any ghosts. Well, whatever creatures were in there, I guess they are ghosts now. So possibly. Sorry about the tremors. My wife was mentioning something about them. I was supposed to have like my head scanned a year ago, but I go back to the doctor next month and she can yell for not scanning my head. But work took over and all that good stuff. I don't even know if they can find like CTE on a MRI or what have you, but they're worried about stuff like that because I've had a lot of head injuries and that sort of thing. What are you doing, Dennis? Does the smell meet your approval? And this is just about done. Dennis P. Hound can smell it, so he came in here. I remember riding with my dad, and a trick that I'll use in the wintertime too is we would put food in the side box. I mean, when it's 20 below zero, it's not going bad, you know? You'd have to remember to take things out so it could thaw out, you know? So you'd put it in the cab and the heater to sort of like let it start thawing out so you could eat it. But yeah, we'd put stuff in the side box all the time. Why did the color on my computer change? I guess 8:04, it's trying to say it's dark time or whatever. I guess. I don't know. I'm technologically challenged. Are freezer bags better? I would say, yeah, probably freezer bags. Yeah, definitely. You want to get the big, like the gallon size bags that seal up nice and tight that you can actually put food in, soups and stuff like that. And it'll close and it's not going to spill. And ideally, you don't want to have it straight up and down unless you got a bunch of them in there. Like you can kind of stack them in something and then stand them up where they're kind of thinner. You don't want them scrunched. You want them kind of filled up, but sort of more like a pillow. What am I trying to say? You don't want it all scrunched up with stuff in there. You want it where you can like stack them in there real good. And it works great. I don't have any right now. But I have done that. I do have a deep freeze, and that works really good. What are you doing? I'm trying to cook. I have an insistent mastiff. Hey, Edward. Oh, cool. You know, that would be cool. Like, I'm sure there's a way you could do that. Like you're talking about with that Y split you did. I was thinking because like Volkswagen Bug, how the heater works off the manifold. If you route that, and it's just like a little switch, like your heater, and that would be awesome. I'm not through cooking the food yet. I think my dog's telling me to hurry up. But the food is just about ready. I don't really want to dirty any more dishes. 2 o'clock in the morning comes early. Back to the charger. You just having all kinds of charging issues. We've all been there. What sucks is driving down the road and your charger won't charge your phone. There's something wrong with the outlet on your phone, like the plug part where it goes into the cable goes into your phone, or it's like a little head on the end of the plug where the wire goes in, and you're trying to put it in the right position. And Hoover stew, that would be about it. Hobo stew, mulligan stew, which is what that's based off of. Yeah, basically. Anyways, that sucks. You got to go buy a charger, and when you need a charger, you're never someplace you can get a cheap one, and the cheap ones don't work, so then you got to buy something and spend way too much money for it. But Jumpy Killer, I do need to make chili at some point. I was thinking about making that this weekend. My wife voted it down. So I don't know why. She just didn't feel like chili this weekend or something. But here in just a few minutes, I'm going to dish up some of this stew. And like I said, if you use Spam, put some sage in it, make it more like sausage. You don't have to use hamburger. You can use chunks of beef. You can use beef you've already cooked. You know, like you've got a roast in there that you've already cooked and you wanted to make into something else. You can use chunks of that and put it in here. You just need some kind of meat in there. You can use chicken. Like you can do chicken the same way. And you can make it with that. I just kind of prefer beef and hog, that sort of thing. Pork chops, all sorts of things. Yeah, the magnetic things work good. Every time I get one, somebody walks off with it and I never see it. I do need to get another one. I need that for my bike. I nearly bought it, but I don't know. I ended up getting a cheaper one that actually, it works good. But I don't know. I'm seeing some of the phone mounts and stuff for the bikes. They'll charge your phone, just put the phone in the mount, and that would be awesome. Okay. So is that a carrot? Makeable bacon's providing an interesting smell. It's not bad though. But I mean, there's no reason to throw things away. It's like, you know, these items are going to go soon. Like you're going through your fridge. Okay, you got some hamburger meat you need to use up. You got some sausage, you have this, you have that. You can have chicken breast, you can have whatever. You can just basically make mulligan stew. And you can use up all of those, or Hoover stew as Jumpy calling it, because it has to do with the Great Depression. And you can put all those ingredients together and make a wonderful supper. That works. That is done. And if you have company coming over, you can always add water to the stew. You buy 10 packs. Maybe I should. But there's the stew. If you can see it, you pick it up there. And of course, that is very hot because it's boiling. Have to let it cool off so I can package it up, have it ready to go on the road. If you ate the cabbage, no one can stay in the house. Yeah, sometimes it has that effect. Yeah, Biden stew. Honestly, maybe we should come up with something like that. Maybe that could be something we do. But we'd have to have almost cheaper ingredients sort of thing. Cool. Because we don't want to insult the Hoover stew over here, you know. They came out of the Great Depression, fed our grandparents. It's got some historical value to it. Maybe we should do a challenge. Ingredients for Biden stew. I might put that up. I don't know if I'll put that up on my community tab, but I might put something up on my Discord about that. And if you're on my Discord, which I think all of you are, any ingredients that you could think of for Biden stew. And we don't want to insult our Depression era relatives, but any ingredients you could think of for that, put it in my Discord. I'll see if I can do something with it. But thank you so much for watching. This has been a 3-hour chat, which is awesome. I usually don't go that long, but thank you for watching. I don't know what I'm going to cook next. If y'all come up with some pretty good ingredients for that Biden stew, we could try it. St. Helens 3-pound rolls of hamburger for $11. Walmart has 70%. Cool. Anyways, I'm gonna let y'all go. This has been 3 hours. I'm sure my wife wants to talk to me now. I don't want her to throw anything at me to get my attention. She has too good of aim. She generally hits me when she throws something at me, usually in the head. So I am going to eat the rest of my supper. When this cools off, I'm going to plate it up for my fridge for the road, and I will catch y'all next week. Unless something just comes up while I'm on the road that I want to show or what have you. Thank you so much for watching. I'm going to push that little red button in the right corner to end broadcast. Coach Shadow, just make sure she only has soft things to reach. No, she doesn't throw soft things. She gets like, you know, those pot iron lamp kind of things. They're not necessarily heavy, but they look like they should be cast iron, but they're light. It's like a fake alloy to look like that. I get shit like that thrown at me. Yeah, it's nothing soft. But I'll catch you later. Bye-bye.